then I'm going to take a moment to introduce myself really quickly. And I'm going to ask that you guys take a moment to introduce yourselves. My goal for today is for you guys to know each other, for you to have a better understanding of my background and my role. I'd like to help you understand the benefits of productivity coaching, answer any questions that you might have about the value proposition and why or why not it might be a match for you, and make sure that you have some of the tools and systems to take advantage of as you're brand new to Keller Williams. So welcome aboard. Let me tell you, we'll start off with me. I have been in the business for about 15 and a half years. I was with another company first. I was there for about 5.5 years. I then moved to Keller Williams. I moved there or here in November of 2010 as a solo agent. Hang on one second. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, came to Keller Williams Roswell as a solo agent, started to take advantage of what I consider to be phenomenal training, technology, systems, support, culture, etc. Was able to grow my business from there. Hired a full-time assistant, full-time buyer's agent, who basically evolved from a person that helped me with some rentals to showing agent to buyer's agent, ultimately took over the listings. About 2.5 years ago, I stepped into leadership. I was the team leader in Roswell for about 1.5 years. And just shy of a year ago, I transitioned to the productivity coaching role. And so my role now, we have 77 people in the group. And these are agents of all experience levels, all production levels that are looking to take their business to the next level. I would say I don't usually start the meeting this way, but actually I do, which is what I do not want you to take from this session is that you need productivity coaching to be successful. Okay, you've joined the #1 training organization there is, right? You've joined an organization where we have over 300 agents here in Roswell. You got leaders every direction that you look. We've got a wonderful leadership team. We've got agent mentors, agent leadership council, big teams, small teams, a little bit of everything. And there is nothing stopping you from walking in the door and doing everything that we tell you to do and you having an awesome career, right? And having a fantastic life by design. The purpose of productivity coaching is really for it to be an accelerator, okay? It's to say, hey, you're gonna feel pretty overwhelmed. Let me help you understand what to focus on first, okay? Let me then tell you what to focus on next. Let me make sure that you have a step-by-step, crystal clear plan on how you should be using your time, how you should be building your business, how you can use all the tools inside and outside of Keller Williams to get exactly what you want. So it is not the you absolutely have to be in business with me or you're not going to be successful. It is if you choose to get into business with myself, then the goal is to get you there faster and to help you net more money, way more than enough to pay for our partnership. Does that sound fair?
Sure. Of course.
Awesome. So I still do have a sales team that is being run by Pam, my long-term partner, and I'm about to bring on one other person to continue to grow that. And I spend my days basically working with you guys, right? Making sure that you're learning what you need to learn, that you're being held accountable, that you understand what to focus on each day, and that we can help you build big businesses. So let's do a little give everyone an opportunity to introduce themselves, and then I'll kind of go through some of the offerings of the productivity coaching program. Neil, would you like to start?
Sure. I'm Neil Singer, licensed as of about less than a week, I think, at this point, like 5 days, something like that.
Okay.
So joined Keller Williams, I guess, officially 5 days ago, but been talking for a few weeks. Been a technology executive for almost my whole career. So like 30 years, 25 years in, in executive management, 10 years as an individual contributor. But I'm kind of retired from that. I've started doing investment properties about 6 years ago, and in retirement I want to do more investment properties, so do flips and more rental properties. And been talking with Sissy Williams, who's a Keller Williams person for several years now, and she encouraged me to get my real estate license, and then also to join Keller Williams. So here I am.
Beautiful, beautiful. If you could, if we were sitting here a year from today and we were just celebrating the fact that everything worked exactly like you had hoped it would, what are we celebrating a year from today?
So yeah, I talked to Aubrey actually about this. We talked about goals. So, we ended up deciding the goal would be to do 4 flips and 4 additional rental properties this year. Actually, if I did a little bit less than that, I'd still be pretty happy. So I'm especially where right now where, the market is so crazy. There were 70 offers on the one I bid on last week.
Oh my God.
70. That's insane. So so that was the goal we set. I think that's a bit of a stretch goal, but somewhere short of that would be fine too.
All right, perfect. So 4 flips and 4 what, buy and holds or buy, rehab, and hold?
Yep.
Okay. So do you have any intention to help buyers buy and sellers buy, or are you primarily just for your own?
Yeah, I'm kind of a feeling like I want to focus on this first, and then get my systems and processes down where it's kind of second nature. I've got my build that as a a line of business, and then if that's when I've got feel like that's going, if I feel like I want to expand in that direction, other ideas I have to expand in different directions, maybe property management eventually, some other things. But it's not my intention out of the gate to do that. No.
To be a buyer's agent or a listing agent?
No.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, is it Kara or Kara?
Kara.
Kara, okay, would you mind sharing next?
Okay, I just got my license back last week. I previously worked for about 15 years, predominantly in new construction. And then after my first child was born, I had to take several years off. He had some special needs, so I focused on all that. So now that I've got him enrolled in college, here I am again.
All right.
But yeah, this is, I also know Sissy. She and I grew up on the same street, so that's another one. But Robin Consor, she lives in the same neighborhood as my fiance, and met her last spring, and we just got to talking, and she's like, well, when you're ready to go back, you got to come here. And then she introduced me to Aubrey, so that's how I got here, and I'm very excited. I think it's definitely the right move for me. While I have sales experience and I love new construction, but the new construction world is nothing like what it was back when I used to work. The whole resale mindset, is something that's brand new to me. I feel completely brand new. I've lived up in this area about 5 years, but I don't feel like I have like a big network foundation because I've been kind of isolated at home, dealing with kid issues. So I'm, even though I have experience, I am kind of starting from scratch, and my goals are to, within the next year, is to build a good foundation, to where I can start, growing and, be self-supportive. I've got some elderly ill parents that I need to help out, and, I need to build a retirement, and, just those are my, my big whys for the moment. Also interested in investment property, but I wanted to do the flip side. I wanted to get my, I think at the moment I want to work mainly with buyers because that's where my comfort zone feels, because having sat in new construction for so many years, I'm used to the people coming to me. So
Yes.
this whole flip flop is like a little daunting of, lead generation scares me to death. But, but I feel like once I get comfortable and can get busy, listings won't scare me. It's
Right.
sellers, tend to be a little more of my, I don't, I know I love the hunt for real estate. It's what I do all the time. I know the buyer's perspective very well. So I know that's where my comfort zone is right now.
Okay.
But, I feel like it'll probably evolve.
Perfect. So we certainly will talk about pros and cons of working with buyers and sellers. I mean, vast majority of solo agents are working with both.
Hmm.
What you will find in time is that the working with sellers is a lot more leveraged, meaning a highly systematized, super diligent, focused agent could with help with a little bit of admin support could probably take 20 listings a month.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. A super highly organized, systematic, tech-driven, admin-based buyer's agent would be lucky to help 6 or 7 buyers a month.
Gotcha.
Meaning, like, if I've got 5 buyers and I want to take a week off, nothing's happening until I get back. If I've got
Right.
5 listings and I go take a week off, they'll probably all be under contract by the time I get back.
Right.
So there are pros and cons to working with both. Interestingly enough, though, you got to lead generate to find sellers too.
Exactly.
Right. So we'll talk through building up your database and communicating with your database and ways to make sure that your people know you and know that you're a full of value, and it doesn't have to come across so salesy as you're trying to transition into or back into the business, and your people won't feel like you're harassing them for referrals and these kind of things, right? You got to make
Right.
deposits to make withdrawals. We're going to talk lots about that.
Right.
And Candace, I'm probably going to put you in a bit of an awkward situation, but would you like to tell everyone who you are?
You're on mute, Candace.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Candace Story. I am licensed for about 21 years. I've been with a lot of different brokerages, and I was with Keller Williams and built a team back in the early 2000s, and was doing really well. But I left. I really wanted to go on site because I love new construction. So I left to go on site, and I've been in a lot of different places since then on site and just out working as a solo agent. And I'm back after 17 and a half years, and I feel like I've just come home. I'm so excited.
Awesome.
So just ready to, ramp my systems up to the best they can be. The technology here is amazing. And I know that I can offer, and what I've been telling people as I've been telling them that I've left the brokerage I was with is that I can just offer so much more for them, including something that never even occurred to me, but wealth building. So that's a huge, huge impact for their lives.
Beautiful. And Candace didn't say anything just now, but we are in the final moments of courtship and interviewing. Candace will most likely be coming on board as a partner coach or a coach partner. We're still working on the exact title, but she will be working with a lot of agents as they're new to the business and helping them with their systems. I'm in need of a little bit of additional help, and as Keller Williams teaches, we know how to get it. We know how to find the right talent, and that's what we're in the process of doing. So thank you, Candace, for being on the session today.
Thank you.
Okay, let me give you guys a little idea of what the kind of the rhythm of the day and of the week is for productivity coaching. Okay, did you have a question, Neil?
No, just scratching my head.
Okay.
But also, I was the one to text you this morning. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I have a conflict at 1. So
I won't feel judged if you take off when you need to. I will send you this recording later this afternoon so you can listen to the rest of it.
thank you.
Okay, so here is the mission of the productivity coaching group. Okay, our mission is to create a community of learning-based and purpose-driven leaders focused together on accelerating the trajectory of our businesses and the quality of our lives. Using the powerful leverage of Keller Williams models, systems, and technology, we intend to create abundant lives for ourselves and for those we support. Okay, so that is written in a very strategic way to both be specific and vague simultaneously, right? How do we do?
Great. You accomplished it.
So here's the deal, guys. I've talked to thousands and thousands of agents in all different companies, all different income levels, all that stuff. And what they all have in common is they got into the business for just about the same reason. They want to use the real estate business to help them improve the quality of their lives. Okay. Generally speaking, that comes in the following ways: more time, more income, more flexibility, more stability, and probably the biggest of all is more control, right? And control generally comes down to, how do I control the way I spend my time? And how do I control the way I spend my money, or invest my time, or invest my money, right? So that is kind of the backbone of what we teach in the productivity coaching program. Every time that I make a recommendation, or push hard, and sometimes tell you the things you don't really want to hear, it's not because I get off on being mean. It's because I really love seeing people win, right? And one of the things that in my opinion, the broker's job is actually quite simple. It's going to and say, hey, Kara, what is it that you desire, right? Why is it that you desire that? Why is that meaningful to you? Okay, now based on everything you just told me, here's the plan, right? This is what we're going to do each day. This is how we know whether we're on track. And here's the accountability that we're going to, here's when we're going to meet. Here's when we're going to talk about your progress, your activities, how you're doing, what you're doing well, what you're struggling with, etc. Making sure your mindset, your skill set, your daily routine is appropriate based on the desires that we have, right? It's kind of like if you guys were my football team and I showed you a set of plays and we went out in the first quarter and ran the plays, and then at halftime we were getting killed, you wouldn't want your coach to say, hey guys, just try it again, right? You'd want your coach to say, hey, that plan wasn't working, let's try this plan, right? So that's basically what accountability is. It's, let's create a plan that's meaningful to you, that's going to help you get to where you want to be. Let's run it, and then let's have some accountability around how successful we're being, or how not successful we're being, right? What are we struggling with? What are we excelling in, etc. Okay, so here's the kind of the rhythm of the program. Every day from 8:30 to 9, normally ends up being a few minutes after 9 o'clock, we have a morning huddle. Each huddle has a kind of a theme. Okay, so this week, today's huddle was on the buyer checklist and the buyer process. Tomorrow it's on the seller checklist and the seller process. Wednesday it's going to be on segmenting your database for different marketing strategies. On Thursday it's going to be creating your unique value proposition, and on Friday we're going to do some role play. So as I'm talking to people one-on-one and in groups throughout the week, I'm learning what some of the pain points are and what they need particular attention to, and that becomes kind of the curriculum for the morning huddles. So every day from 8:30 to 9, Monday through Friday, we have, bless you.
Thank you.
We have a morning huddle. Everything is on Zoom right now, and everything is recorded. So we host a YouTube page that's private for PC members, and a Google Drive, which is private for PC members. And basically I'm dropping, presentations and marketing pieces and checklists and script books and all course curriculums, all kinds of stuff, so that you can have those additional resources, okay? Plus we started this back in mid-March of last year. So there's over 400 videos on everything from mindset to presentations, scripts, dialogues, objection handlers, presentations, profit share, putting together mock offers, contracts, masterminds, growth masterminds, launch masterminds, just about anything you could think of. We've had several classes on it in the last year, and all that is available for you to watch as frequently as you would like. Okay. We are in the process of kind of redoing a little bit of our offering package right now, but our intention is to have a weekly mastermind for kind of 2 of the core groups. About 3/4 of our group right now, we're at 77 agents as we speak. About 3/4 of those agents are essentially brand new, or they were new a few months ago. So they're about 0 units or just getting started to about 3 units per year. Those people are in what I call the launch mastermind. We have an hour-long launch mastermind once a week. And we also have a growth mastermind for people that are a little bit more accelerated, and they meet once a week. Again, they get into the Zoom room, and the purpose is to talk about, what they're encountering, right? Things that are going well, how are they spending their money, what's frustrating them, what tips and strategies do they have to win multiple offers and to secure the listing and all that kind of thing. And I'm the facilitator of those sessions. Okay, we also have we've been doing a success series once a week where we bring in on Zoom again, bring in a top performer, and typically they specialize in something, whether it be open houses or expired listings or buyer seminars or social media or cold calling or something like that. There's some way that is really the driver behind how they built their business, and we get a chance to get to know them a little bit better and hear some of the ways that they structured their business and have grown it and communicate with their database and that kind of thing, do some Q&A. Any questions so far? Okay, so that is kind of what you would expect on a weekly basis. We also have a couple of other things going on too. We're about to transition into some small groups where there'll be additional small group training once a week as well in groups that are with agent partners that are roughly the same, experience level, production level, that kind of thing, so we can do some additional group coaching. Okay, and once you hit a certain production level, we're still fine tuning that. It's probably gonna be around 3 or 4 transactions. You would move to a one-on-one private 15-minute weekly coaching session where we would delve into, your specific business plan, your specific, strategies. How do you want to find business? What are your weaknesses? What are your strengths, etc. We have a couple of pieces of technology that are available to our agents. Normally they would cost a little bit of money. They are available on the private market, but sometimes people think they're expensive. One is called Corley Resource Realty. That is essentially for circle prospecting. What that is, guys, is let's say you're at 123 Main Street. That's your new listing, and you want to call the 1,500 people that live closest to that address, or up to 1,500 people. We can give you the names and numbers for that. Okay. You could also use that information for, hey, just listed this property, or just put this home under contract, or just close this property, and do some cold calling around those particular addresses. That data is about $1,200 per year. That is free with productivity coaching. Okay. We also have a system called Vulcan 7. Vulcan7.com is the premier source for expired listings and for sale by owners and withdrawn listings. That updates every single day, and you can use that data. You could put it in a dialer if you wanted to, or you could manually dial, and that service is about $350 per month. That is free with productivity coaching. Okay, you can log on to the Vulcan 7 all by yourself and grab that data as frequently as you'd like, or you could just send me the address or the neighborhood, and I can quickly send you back the data for the Corley Resource Realty. Okay. We also have a couple of what I call overlays from the Georgia Legacy Group. Georgia Legacy Group is Roswell, Alpharetta, and Peachtree Corners. That's our larger ownership group. They have a director of productivity as well, or career development, and they offer a couple of weekly classes as well. These are not recorded, but they are available for everyone. It's a weekly advanced skill building class, get leads with social media using video, an assertive prospecting class, a scripts mastermind, and a technology and social media class. And all that is weekly. There's no attendance taken, so you can come and go as you wish. What we generally know is the more classes you attend, the better you do, unless you just want to be a professional student and not go out there and do the work, right? I heard a great line the other day that said, you can't get muscles by reading a book about working out, right? You got to go do it.
Right.
Okay? So all of that is available as well. We are in the process, like I said, of bringing on another coach, and we'll be adding some additional classes weekly that are available for agents as well, that revolve around business planning, kind of getting some of your models and systems established at the very beginning, orienting you to the productivity coaching program and making sure you know how to use all the tools, and contracts. Okay. Kara, what you'll notice is, you could go and learn the Roswell market in a couple of hours, right? I know that sounds a little strange to say, but you say, hey, 200 to 300, what can I buy? Let's go look at a couple of them. 300 to 400, what's out there? Let's go look at a couple of them, right? And then when somebody comes to you and says, hey, I'm looking for a 5-bedroom home, new construction, finished basement, some tennis community, gated entrance, and I've got a budget of 260 in Alpharetta, you don't go and, oh, okay, well, I'll go look it up and see, I'll email you the results, right? You might say, well, I don't think we're probably going to find much in that price range in Alpharetta, but where else might you consider living, right? You don't, you kind of know what to expect, and you don't set expectations that aren't, doable.
Exactly.
Make sense?
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, I used to, one of the things I loved working with my builders is because I knew my products inside and out, and that always feels so good. And so it's like now I've flipped myself to be like, okay, well, Roswell, Alpharetta, Milton, everything is my product. So now I've got to just look at it from the mindset of making that my domain and my expertise for your very example. So
yeah, and another, just to flip it even more, is your product is really you.
true.
Right.
True.
Because one of the very first things that you got to consider is, why would this person consider committing to me rather than committing to some other real estate agent?
Exactly.
Right? And the beautiful thing is, and you correct me if both of you, because you both work on site. I've never worked on site. When somebody's working on site, they got to, like, this is the stuff in their store, right? If you don't buy one of these places, then I can't get paid, right? There's nothing else to sell you, right? And that's totally different than the resale market. If I walk you into house number 1 and you don't like it, get out of here. You ain't buying it. Get back in the car. Let's go find something different, right? If the house is too big or too small or too old or too new or whatever, I don't care. If you don't like it, I don't either. Get back in the car, right?
Right.
So I don't want you to buy a dud, right? So if you don't like house 1, let's go pursue house 2. No big deal. So in effect, what you're selling is you and your relationship and your level of patience and your level of expertise and your, understanding of the contracts and negotiations and that kind of thing, right? The house, you'll find the house.
Exactly. Oh, absolutely.
Awesome. Let me talk quickly about how I am compensated. You're probably wondering that. It is different than most coaching. So most coaching that you might be familiar with is based on essentially compensating the coach for their time. Okay, meaning let's say you went to the gym and you got a personal trainer at the gym. You spend an hour with a personal trainer, you pay the trainer for an hour. It has nothing to do with whether you get biceps or abs or something, right? This is the exact opposite. Okay, you come into the group. We've got several WhatsApp groups. We've got a WhatsApp group for announcements and help. You have access to the Google Drive. You have access to the YouTube videos, the YouTube page. You have access to the group coaching, the individualized coaching, the extra morning sessions and additional trainings. You take advantage of all of that. And when you're successful, meaning when you have a closing, is when you pay. The fee is 10% of the gross commission income. And that is doable or paid when you have the sale itself. Okay. So if you were to come in and not have any transactions for a couple of months as you're kind of getting everything organized, there's no fee for any of the assistance that we've given you. Okay. You only pay when you have the sale.
It's 10% of what would be my gross from my split.
It is 10% of the total gross off the top. So if you sell a $200,000 house and the gross commission is $6,000, the PC fee would be $600, and then the $5,400 that's remaining would be split at the market center level. So the 10% comes off of the very top.
Okay, so then in essence, brokerage is paying the 10% as well. Am I thinking of that right? Like, because with the split that I'm on.
I suppose you could think of it that way. I don't.
Well, I don't know. It sounds more fair coming off the top than coming off of my percentage, like, and again, I'm used to splits are all new to me, and because I've not worked that way before. So I'm going to age myself here. But yeah, so because I've had to figure out, okay, and with learning, like thinking the cap and all that. So, okay, so 10% off the gross, and then if the split is 70-30 or 80-20, then it's divided after the 10%.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly. We do cap the PC fee during a fiscal year at $10,000. So, for example, if you were in your first year, you were to do, let's say, $60,000 of gross commission income, then the coaching would cost you $6,000. If you were to if you were to have $100,000 worth of GCI, coaching would cost $10,000. $200,000 of GCI, coaching would cost $10,000. Okay.
Gotcha.
There is no short-term or long-term commitment, if you will. There is a contract which spells out like what I can expect of you and vice versa, and some of the services that are included. But the agreement can be terminated at any time by either party, right? My goal is to essentially consistently earn the relationship, right? If there's ever a time where you say, hey, one sec. Okay. If there's ever a time where you say, hey, I don't think I'm getting enough value, well, that's a problem. I need to figure out why, right? So my preference is not for you to quit in the middle of the night. My question would be, my request would be, hey, come to me and say, hey, Bill, it bothered me when you said this, or I wish you would teach this, or why can't we do this, or can we offer this, right? Let's have an adult conversation around it. And let's see if I can make sure the program continually is a great fit for as many people as possible. Okay.
So is it a situation where typically newer agents continue with it potentially indefinitely till they feel like they've gotten maximum from it? Or is it, like what is kind of what's the thought process of when would you tell someone, okay, I think you can fly now on your own, like, or is that not the right way to look at it?
That is a way to look at it. Absolutely. However, it's coaching and teaching, but primarily coaching. So what I mean by that is it's not like, hey, you know how to add double digits and you've shown me you know how to add double digits and that's all I teach. So now you can you can go to the next level. That's not really it, because it's coaching. Like Tiger Woods,
whatever place you're at.
LeBron James has got a coach, right? So everywhere you are as you're building your business, you're going to have a new set of challenges and a new set of things that you're trying to figure out.
Exactly.
And having an accountability partner and having somebody to see what you don't see will be beneficial at all levels.
Exactly.
Right?
Kind of like parenting.
Yeah, exactly. Right. The parenting strategy.
But I won't call you my parent.
Sometimes I'll feel like your parent and sometimes I'll feel like your student, right? Or your kid,
yeah.
Right?
I'm such in the mindset of getting this 18-year-old into college. That's I'm walking that line between, hey, I'm coaching you, be happy and do what I say.
Right. Well, there's a lot of that, right? And you mentioned the special needs. That's a whole different animal, right?
Oh yeah.
And I don't know what that's like. I'm not even going to pretend to know what that's like. But every day our agents are going through, high moments and low moments. And every day they think they're going to get paid and then they don't get paid or something falls in their lap, right? There's a lot of highs and lows in this business. And there's so many different, technology advances and what expectations, the client's expectations of you are. And as time moves on, you're going to need more and more. Sometimes it'll be some teaching and sometimes it'll be some coaching. There are people that have gotten what they want, if you will, and then moved on. Some of which have, their businesses continue to be on the upswing and some aren't, and some have come back and some are talking about coming back, right? So the question is really like, are you where you want to be and are you reaching your potential? And what we know is that coaching works, right? And this is a little bit of a, I really don't mean, you barely know me, but I don't mean this to be arrogant in any way. I believe that if you plug in, right, you come to the daily sessions and you come to the, one-on-ones and you watch the videos and you take this business seriously and we're a partnership, 90% of what we can make together will far exceed 100% of what you could do alone.
Yeah, I get that. I
Right.
get that.
So if you're capable, let's say, of making 70 grand, I hate saying it this way, but without me, right?
Yeah.
Is it possible that if you have, what it really amounts to over $5,000 of extra, technology offerings and all the benefits of the program, is it possible? We're meeting once a month eventually. We are, you have daily huddles and these kind of things. Is it possible that I could help you secure one more transaction all year long? And if so, it's been paid for.
I'm sorry. Excuse me 1 second.
Yeah, absolutely.
My son had something. Okay, I apologize.
No problem.
I thought he left and he snuck back in.
Does that make sense?
It does. And if you have time, I just have one more question.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and again, I haven't had my biggest Aubrey meeting yet. That's at 3:00 today. So I'm probably going to be asking you things I might have found out later, but, because I don't know so Aubrey's the managing broker, and then isn't there another broker that you would go to like with specific contract issues? Like I haven't learned all that situation. So if I'm working with you and I've seen obviously what you've described from the coaching, teaching standpoint. If I'm working a deal, I would go somewhere else. I wouldn't necessarily call you up and say, hey, how do I do this? Is that correct?
That's a great question. So it's let me back up and kind of help you understand all the
Hierarchy.
different people that would be available. So
Right.
from a licensed law perspective, Aubrey is the managing broker. Okay.
Right.
So when you say my broker, right, they're referring to Aubrey.
Right.
We have Melba Franklin and Ruth Honig are two additional brokers that are available for contract questions. And I hate to say this, but they're more like the problem solvers.
Yeah.
Right?
The day-to-day kind of.
When it's a little bit more hairy, right? Like
Okay.
you don't need a broker to tell you what form to fill out. You need a broker to get you out of trouble or to make sure you don't get into trouble. So there'll be some training that is done by non-brokers, right? It'll be like, here's how you fill out this agreement. Here's how you fill out this agreement. Here's what comes first. Here's what comes next. There'll be training throughout the day, right? So you have an office calendar with tons of classes. So you have Aubrey as the team leader. Robin Lemon is the assistant team leader. She does some of the training as well. Candace will be doing some training, and I do some training. Okay. So the goal there is to help you kind of get the baseline on how to handle, the basic transactions.
Okay.
We also have two agent mentors. One is her name is Kathy Ray. She is in the productivity coaching program. So she's an example. I mean, she probably made close to $300,000 last year, and she paid her $10,000 to be in coaching. That happened pretty quickly, and since probably around August or so, she's been in the program for free, if you will, and she appreciates the extra accountability and the extra offerings and weekly sessions and all that kind of stuff. And she loves being in relationship with some of the other agents, and that's why she participates. We also have somebody named Susan Corley, who's another agent mentor. Those are really the two people that you'll probably go to most often when you have hey, I need a quick second, or I got a quick question, something like that. We also have 77 people in our WhatsApp for productivity coaching. So like for example, somebody just said, anyone know what VAR form is needed for a lease application? Right. That's a question that, for example, doesn't need to be answered by a broker. Mm-hmm. Right. So they pop that into the chat, and a bunch of agents are like, oh, this one. Here's how to find it. Here's what to do. Right. Perfect. And then of course, the way that my compensation is I don't get paid unless you get paid. Right. Exactly. So we have an alignment with our interests and our motivations to make sure that you get what you want. Because if you're not making money and you're not happy, well, my hunch is you're probably not going to stick around for very long. Right.
Right.
So my goal is to make sure that you have all the tools and resources you need professionally, and that you are on track to hitting your goals, and that of course you feel included, and you have great culture, and building friendships, and you've got many people that you can speak to. As I mentioned before, we're going to be starting some small groups, so you'll have some additional support there. So there should never be a time where you don't know who to turn to. Then, of course, we have tech support, and we have Lucy, who's the agent services director, as well as Lee Fox and Aaron Putnam, who are the market center administrators. They deal with a lot more of the on the financial side, compliance, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Right. So
that helps me get a better picture.
Yeah. So the broker, like the broker is not, they don't have to handle every single one of those calls. They'll handle the things that are like,
You're on fire.
yeah, exactly. Or, hey, this is about to be on fire, or, hey, this was on fire last week, or something like that.
Right. Gotcha.
What other thoughts or questions do you have?
I can't think of anything at the moment. I mean, when do you need to know if I'm going to do this or not? Is there a specific time, or is it fluid?
Yeah, it's very fluid. So like I said before, there's no long-term or short-term contract. I do believe that the sooner that we can get into business, the sooner you'll have somebody in your corner that will be telling you what to focus on, and making sure that you have a solid business plan, and kind of what to do each day. Right.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff out there. My plan is to kind of keep you focused on the most important things, and to get you building the right habits as quickly as possible. You don't need to give me an answer today. If you'd like, I can have Lee Fox send you the productivity coaching contract. You can review that. Certainly, if you have any questions, you can let me know. As soon as you say go and you sign it, then we're in business, and I start sending you the weekly emails, and the Zoom links, and the access to the YouTube, and add you to the WhatsApp groups, welcome you to the group. You can start coming to the morning sessions, and kind of jump right in.
It sounds amazing. Someone, brand new to this type of brokerage, because like I said, I didn't just always work on site. We had in-house brokerage. So I had, one broker, just it was small, even I did work for one big corporation at one time, but again, it was this type of brokerage is totally new to me. So it's interesting. I mean, I could totally see for someone brand new or someone in my position that this is could be extremely helpful. So I'm very interested. I feel like I'm going to have a lot come at me today. And I've also got the Ignite thing that starts in a week.
Yep.
And so, but I guess because this is the 8:30 to 9 every morning, that's the one, on the dot, and then everything else is scheduled.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. There's a couple of things I'd like to add there. So my hunch is, I don't know exactly what Aubrey wants to go over with you today, but my hunch is it's going to be mostly around your goals and your plan, right? So the information that you work on with Aubrey today will help us at the beginning, as I'm getting clarity on what's important to you as well, right? And Candace is getting clarity on what's important to you as well. In terms of how to handle this with respect to Ignite is like, it's not like double the work. We're both telling you to do the same stuff, right? Which is learn the market, learn the contracts, get organized with your database, get some baseline knowledge of the technology, right? Here's some things to say. Here's how to do comps. Here's how to do your presentations, right? We're all talking about the same thing.
Sure.
In one instance, it is teaching and training, and the other, it's kind of layered with some additional accountability and some a little bit more clarity on kind of what to do first, what to do next, and kind of navigating you a little bit, right? That's kind of why I said at the very beginning, if you if you were to say, Bill, this ain't for me, right? then we still have a promise that we've made you as a member of Keller Williams that you are a part of a great technology company, great culture, world-class training, et cetera. So there's no shortage of opportunities if you are not to enroll in PC coaching. PC coaching is just another layer of support, right? And what we've seen is that agents are getting into business faster, right? They feel they meet more people faster, right? And they're building their businesses faster. And ultimately, if it doesn't work for you, then it didn't cost you anything.
Right, exactly.
Right.
I
So,
see that. And I understand just in general, starting from scratch, it takes a little time, but I do agree with you. I'm seeing now, having gotten back into this and doing some research, that it's all happening a lot faster than it used to when you
oh yeah,
start in real estate. And I don't want to waste time, I guess, in a sense. Like, I had kind of in my mind, correct or not, thought, okay, well, it's going to take me a solid year to get a foundation, get my footing, and kind of get on track. Not that I wouldn't have any sales during that year, but just the first year in my mind was like, this is all going to be about learning and practicing and getting systems in place, that kind of thing.
yep.
And I can see that where it could move quickly, and I don't want to just sit back and go, oh, well, I'm within the first year, I'm just going to read this and go to this class. I mean, it's not that. I just, so I don't want to waste time necessarily. So it kind of seems like I might have a little more of a jump start, with the coaching,
I think that's exactly true. I think that's really well said. And ultimately, we got into this business because we want to have fun, we want to help people, we want to build wealth, right? And because we love houses and we love being an entrepreneur, right? And we want to control the way we deal with our time. And the more support that you can enlist in order to be on that track, the better, in my opinion. What we're trying to do by making it there being like no long-term commitment or upfront fee or lock you in or any of that kind of stuff. This is if you're getting value, stay. If you're not getting value, let's talk about it, right? And there should never be a time where you feel like locked in, where you're not able, to move on or to leave or something like that. We're trying to make it as big of a no-brainer as possible.
Okay.
Make sense?
All right, it does.
Cool. Kara, what's the best email for you? And I will have Lee send you a copy of the PC contract. And of course, just take a quick look at that. If you have any questions, let me know. And as I said, as soon as you sign it, we'll get you on the calendar for an orientation to start working through your business plan. We send out a weekly email where you'll see all of the classes and links and all that kind of stuff. So I'll send that to you, and logins, and as soon as possible, get you oriented to the program and jump right in.
Okay. It's Kara L. Scott at Gmail.
Kara L. Scott at Gmail. Okay. What other questions do you have? Anything?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
A general understanding of what we're looking at.
Yeah, every day, what I say to the group a lot of times is, you'll know you're working if two things are happening. One is every day you're getting smarter, meaning you're learning something new about the market or the inventory or the contracts or negotiations or presentations or scripts or tech or something like that. And then secondly, every day you're growing. You're growing your audience, you're growing your database, you're meeting new people, right? And if that happens enough times, you're going to have a huge network. Everyone's going to love and trust you. And then you're just going to naturally go out and help a bunch of people and have a great life, right? And make the type of income that you're hoping to make. And yeah, the business is a little different than before. But as you know, the people that are crushing it, they're not any smarter than you, right?
Right.
You can do all that. So whatever your goal is, you want to make 50, 100, 350, 2 million, whatever it is, we show you the plan. And then you know exactly what it's going to take to get there. And then we get started. And when things are going well, we're high-fiving, we're celebrating. And when things aren't going so well, we're huddling up and we're trying to figure out how we can fix it, right? And what skill we need to develop, or what system or piece of technology we need to add. And when you win, we win. And when you don't win, we don't either, right? So we try to get together on the same team and help you get to where you're trying to go.
Great. All right. Well, I really
Cool.
appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, let me know, and you should be getting an email here soon from Lee. Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Candace.